All right, call the meeting to order. A moment of silent prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Roll call, Mrs. Frank.
Mayor Kindle.
Present.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Present.
Councilman Jenny.
Here.
Councilwoman LaPratt.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki is absent. Councilwoman Williams.
Present.
Councilman Tucson.
Present.
Acting City Manager Szymanski.
Here.
City Attorney Diwali.
Here.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the absence of Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
I'll make the motion.
Support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any disapprove? Motion carries. All right, then this takes me to the approval of minutes. I need a motion.
I'd like to make the motion.
Excuse me, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I'd like to make the motion to approve the minutes.
Okay.
Could you read them out?
Regular city council meeting held on May 1st, 2023, and beautification commission meeting held on April 17th, 2023.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any disapprove? Motion carries. All right, this is time for public comment on agenda items only. You only can speak about what's on the agenda, not any other subjects at this time. So if anyone has anything that they want to speak on the agenda? Seeing none, let's move on to the consent agenda. I need a resolution.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
make a resolution to approve the consent agenda, items 1 through 7.
Oh, my goodness. Whoops.
We'll back up.
Well,
We're gonna back up.
we're gonna back up. First of all, after the roll call, I should have called the Helms up for the presentation. So excuse me, everyone, I'm moving fast and thinking less. But would the Helms please come forward to make their presentation? Thank you so much.
All right.
Hello, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to you this evening about a matter that I feel is important and particularly relevant to the seniors of Harper Woods. My name is Prudence Cole, and I am the current president of the Helm Board, the only comprehensive senior support center in our community. Before I begin, I would like to introduce a citizen of Harper Woods, Kathleen Carlson, who will share their perspective regarding being a senior in our community. Kathleen?
Hey, Gabby.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Carlson. I've been living in Harper Woods since 1977. My husband, daughter, and I live on Damon Street. I am a volunteer at the Helm. I have been volunteering at the Helm for 20 years. I have been doing taxes at the Helm and our public library for 17 years. The Helm does a lot of things that people do not know about. In addition to everything that they do that you can see, there's also phone calls made from family members out of state that say, my parents need help. What can you do to help us? Okay, there's the only place in this area that I know that people do that for the parents, for children that live out of state. There's social worker help. I also deliver Meals on Wheels. I work at the auction. We do quite a bit, my husband and I. Even though I'm considered a senior, being 75, okay, I haven't needed their help yet, but there are a lot of people that do need the help, and it's a very important group. And they get most of their funding, I know, from donations and from their auction. And with the way the economy is, they need more help getting that funding. So I have a feeling that's why Prudence is here to talk to you about it. There is a lot that you need to find out about, and I would suggest that the council members, Mayor John, come sometime to the Helm, talk to the people that are there, and see what they are getting out of the Helm. When I was doing taxes this year, I met two gentlemen that I knew what their problems were. They both have wives with Alzheimer's, and they were both kind of lost. And I went to them one day and I said, talk to each other. And they're going, what? I said, just talk to each other. You have something in common. They ended up, now they're both helping each other because they both had different support groups that they knew about through the Helm. Now they're helping other people at the Helm with the same thing. So the Helm is a very good resource that needs to be supported by the Grosse Pointes and Harper Woods. So I think that's all. Do I need to say anything else? Does anybody have any questions for me as a senior in Harper Woods? I guess not. Okay, thank you very much and have a good day. I'll give you back to Prudence.
Good to see you, Kathy.
Kathleen. Thank you so much. As you know, aging in America can be a challenge, and aging in our community is no different. As we age, our needs change. How we continue to have meaning if we are no longer working, or have the social interactions we primarily had at work. How do we find needed social services or navigate health care? An older adult are likely to suffer social isolation as they grow older. They may also require some assistance to live safely and independently in their homes. It is well known that social activities, help with simple chores, access to pre-cooked meals, transportation for medical appointments, or organized fitness activities can make a big difference for long-term health and independent living. I am here to speak to you tonight about an important issue. Let me share some facts. Approximately 18% of the population of the 5 Grosse Pointes and Harper Woods is age 65 and older. Just 4 years ago, that percentage was less than 15%. And in 2035, that percentage is expected to be nearly 26%. Not only is the number of older adults increasing, so too is the diversity of their needs. From those who are vibrant and active, like many who are on the council here, to those who require more assistance with everyday living. Services for older citizens in this community are not readily available to all residents, and as I already said, our population of adults over the age of 65 is going to continue to increase. This calls us to consider an important question. How can we assure residents in this age group are recognized, valued, and share in the quality of life that is the hallmark of our communities? Today, older adults in our community must navigate a patchwork of services provided by multiple organizations. Some services are free, others are at a cost which some older adults can't afford. Through my involvement with the Helm, I have observed the difficulties caused by this approach. We can do better. A comprehensive, community-wide approach has the potential to serve all older adults and make a real difference in their lives. It would also enhance the overall quality of life in our community. The Helm, formerly known as SOC, or Services for Older Citizens, has been filling this breach for almost 50 years as a nonprofit, primarily donor-funded activity. The team of employees and volunteers at the Helm do their best to respond to the needs of older adults, but we are challenged by our dependence on private donations. With a growing population of older adults, the need is too great for our community to continue in this fashion. We think it is time for a more comprehensive approach to serve older adults and provide additional services which we cannot fund at this time. The majority of citizens in counties throughout Michigan have already done this. Of the 83 counties in Michigan, 72 have a senior services millage utilizing Michigan Act 39 of 1976 to ensure seniors receive the support they need. For those counties which have not focused on this support, of which Wayne County is one, local municipalities have passed a senior millage, and in some cases, municipalities have joined together to acquire a millage to ensure senior services. Our northern Oakland County neighbors of Rochester, Rochester Hills, and Oakland Township worked together to address this issue back in 1983 by creating an older persons commission followed by passage of a senior citizens millage. Their older adult population is engaged and thriving with comprehensive senior services. Our older adults should have community support to do the same, and we need to act. I have asked each of the Grosse Pointe councils to designate an individual to participate in a work group to develop a comprehensive and cooperative plan for an interlocal agreement and a ballot language. I am asking the same of Harper Woods. We will come back later this summer with a request to approve the plan and place the millage on the ballot for the August 2024 primary. I urge you to think about what a sustainable commitment to serve older adults would mean for your residents and their families. The needs of older adults in the broader community simply cannot be ignored. I have many seniors say they feel invisible. In closing, I'd like to remind you that the state of Michigan saw a need for such services and passed an act to help facilitate the passage of such a millage. Since 1976, the Harper Woods and Grosse Pointes have had the benefit of senior services provided primarily through the commitment of the donor community. But as the senior population has grown, this is no longer sustainable. And while we have not finalized all of the additional services and programs we could provide with such a millage, we are looking at currently an adult day program and also the potential for a satellite center located in Harper Woods. The packet of information we have prepared will give you greater detail on this issue. Thank you for your time, and I will be happy to answer any of your questions or hear what your concerns are regarding this issue and for our senior population.
Excuse me, Jerry?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
can I ask a question?
Okay.
So, back a couple months ago, the city of Harper Woods, we give you money towards your services. And I think the helm is great. And I know that we use a large portion of, we get a lot of the Meals on Wheels, and we use a large portion of the PATS.
That's right.
What would you say is the portion of Harper Woods residents that use the Helm facility in your activities on a weekly basis?
I actually don't have that number for you. I could get it. We don't, we track some things. I'm not sure. Krista, our executive director, Krista, our new executive director, Krista Siddall is here. Do we track the attendance on a weekly basis?
Pull that information.
I mean, I think that would be helpful for us to know, what are our residents using your facility?
Yeah.
And, what kind of services are just our residents getting?
One of that has been an issue raised. I've had a conversation with the mayor, and we certainly invite everybody into the Helm, but I know we're in the middle of Grosse Pointe. So what we've talked about, and actually have had conversation with also some other funding, would be to provide and manage a senior satellite center over here so that your residents would have more access to it and maybe feel more comfortable. But the biggest issue for Harper Woods, quite honestly, is the Meals on Wheels. And if you understand Meals on Wheels, if you don't, it was a big lesson for me. There is an allocation by the government on how many meals will be allocated. So how many Meals on Wheels are allowed. So let's say, like I can tell you what your meals were. Last year for Harper Woods was 8,500 for the year. So what happens is, let's say we're allocated 1,000 meals for the whole area because we're all included together. So it's first come, first serve. Then if we're allocated 500 and the 501st person shows up in another community, they have to wait. They have to wait till somebody dies or falls off the listing. Well, at the Helm, with our donor base, we cover everyone. So you could be 600, the 600th person, and we'll cover you. We don't let anyone who qualifies for Meals on Wheels go without Meals on Wheels. Now that is almost always, it's primarily done through donors because we just don't have the funding to provide that. But in addition, there's so many other things that we do besides that and the Pat's bus rides that would make life more valuable or more healthy, is a better way to put it, more healthy for seniors. And our goal is to help seniors stay in their homes, healthy, safely, and happily. I mean, I can't answer your definitive question, but we could get that information for you.
Madam Mayor? Madam Mayor?
I'm sorry, my phone went off and as a new phone, I'm trying to turn it off. Okay, what was your question?
Madam Mayor?
Yes, go
I have a
ahead.
question.
Thank you.
Okay. I noticed in these other counties that the mills range anywhere between 0.25 all the way up to 1,
Yes.
and the estimate in here is for 0.5 mils. Would that 0.5 mils be the same for Grosse Pointe, the Grosse Pointes and Harper Woods? Is it the same mills that you're thinking about?
Yes, we're talking, that was just an estimate, 0.05. What we want and what we'd like is for a representative from Harper Woods to come work with us. And we've talked about anything, quite honestly, from 0.03 to 0.05. So what we want to do is cost out some of the programs we're talking about doing. For instance, the senior adult daycare. If you know what that means, it's something really, I think we really need in our communities for caregivers as well as for the seniors themselves. And so we would cost it out. So we think the range will be from 0.03 to 0.05, but we haven't finalized that yet. And we want to work together with the communities to determine what's the best rate. But I can tell you, for my housing value, 0.05 would equate to about $175 a year. So the millage allows up to 1 mil. I mean, the statute allows up to 1 mil, but we wouldn't expect to go that high. Because we still expect to fundraise. This is not about forgoing fundraising. This is about being able to add additional services and having the underpinnings to ensure that we can continue doing what we're doing. Because we're at the mercy of donors. If a donor decides, I don't want to give anymore, they don't give. And so that's a problem. It's a big challenge every year.
Okay, and then my second question, is 72 countywide or individual city townships have senior millages, but not any of the counties in Wayne County yet?
No. So 72 counties have a millage, and then there are 2 additional counties, one being Oakland, that are covered by municipal millages. So that's what that's trying to say. And there are none in Wayne. Wayne County has never come forward, and nobody else has within Wayne County stepped up. It partly because it's a lot of work. And to move cities together, you have to have an interlocal agreement, which requires all the cities to agree, you know, what's going to happen, how the money's going to be managed, because when you have a millage money, the cities collect the millage, as you know. They cannot turn that over to a nonprofit, which is what we are. So we have to have a commission with an interlocal agreement that would then funnel the money potentially to us, but it can be for all senior services. It's a senior services millage, not a Helm millage. So it's important for me to make that designation.
And individual cities, well, we don't have to wait on Wayne County itself, but individual cities can do it.
That's right, that's right. And then if we do it within our communities, then the money stays within our communities as opposed to going to Wayne County and then being dispersed by Wayne County. This way the money would stay within our communities for the use of our communities.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just hypothetically, suppose that during this millage, during the voting time, when it's on the ballot, one community, for example, doesn't get it passed. Does that mean they lose their services, or how does that work?
Well, we have to work that out as well in the interlocal agreement. I can tell you what Rochester does. So Rochester, Rochester Hills, and Oakland Township, they have a magnificent center. I mean, it's mind-boggling. And when you see what they do for seniors, it just blows you away. But if you live in those 3 counties, you can go to that center at no cost. You don't pay fee or anything. If you live outside those cities, you can still go to that center, like you live next door, but you pay, I think it's, their charge right now is like $245 a year for a membership. So you can still go, but then you have to pay directly yourself. So during the interlocal agreement discussions, and we're working out the draft right now, and then we'll bring the cities together with their representatives to work through the details to see if they agree of what we're proposing. But there would be a charge. So if Harper Woods didn't pass it or didn't put it on the ballot, then we would work out some way of a charge that would make it equitable for the cities that did pass it. That's what we're looking at right now. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? Well, we thank you for your presentation.
Thank you for your time.
And
Thank
we'll
you,
get
Mayor
back with
Valerie.
you.
I appreciate it.
Okay, you're more than welcome. Good to see you. Okay, now I can move on to this consent agenda. I need a resolution.
I'll make the
Oh,
resolution.
you made the resolution. Okay, and go ahead.
No, to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 7.
Support.
Okay, discussion.
Madam Mayor,
Yes?
for number 7, it's our custom to talk about who we appointed. And I don't know if she's here or not. To the Library Board of Trustees, we've, oh, there she is, in the back, Malika Williams. And we had 3 wonderful people who applied, but Malika was like next level. Like she had a lot to offer, some brand new ideas, and was very different than most of the other members on the board with all the work that she does in the community and the reading, teaching kids how to read and things like that. We thought that would be like a natural extension to the library, and we're really excited to have Malika Williams on our library board.
Thank you very much. All right. Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
All right, then this takes us to old business, and since we have none, new business is city manager report.
Okay, item G1, public hearing, drinking water state revolving fund, DWSRF loan program. Mayor and council, there is an attached separate memorandum, and essentially we went over this program last couple of meetings, and for this item, only the standard motions of opening and closing the public hearing will be required. Mayor, a motion is recommended to open the public hearing.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll offer the motion to open the public hearing on the drinking water SRF project loan program.
Support.
All right. Public hearing is open. Anyone that has any comments?
So I'll just give a brief summary here. Ryan Kern with Anderson Eckstein and Westrick. Last month, I know I was in front of you with the Clean Water State Revolving Fund Loan Program for the sanitary sewer system. This is for the drinking water system. A project plan has been developed for it. It's been attached into your agenda. The state calls for drinking water projects annually, with the deadline this year being June 1st. Again, just with similar to the sewer end of it, the federal infrastructure dollars that are coming to the state are being funneled through the loan program, both the sewer and the water loan programs. both the Investment Job Acts program and the bipartisan infrastructure law. Both those programs, that funding's being funneled through these projects. So it's important that we apply this year for these loan projects because those funds are going to be, those infrastructure funds are going to be basically loan forgiveness. And those communities that are disadvantaged are going to get more of that loan forgiveness. So the intent here in this project plan is to apply for the replacement of those water mains that have frequent water main breaks. It counts to just over 7 miles of water main and roughly $18 million worth of work. It also includes lead water service replacement. We did do a water service investigation program recently, which we got a grant for to do that. It was not all homes were investigated. It was a random sampling throughout the city that was completed. Out of 365 homes, we found 13 lead water services. So if you extrapolate that, it comes out to, we think there's probably about 300 lead water services in the city, and that is also covered under this application as well, is to get those replaced. After the June 1st deadline, we would find out probably in mid to late August, the state would issue a project priority list, and we would know if we, one, if we are approved to move forward with getting a loan, and two, whether we would get principal forgiveness. I know $18 million is a lot of money, but you know, we're trying to put everything in there we can to hopefully get as much grant or loan forgiveness money as possible. If we don't get a lot and we want to move forward with the project, we can always scale that back. If some of that does have to be funded by the city, we don't necessarily have to go for the full $18 million if we don't get grant money or loan forgiveness money. But that's basically it. And then there's also a resolution that needs to be passed after the public hearing as well, in order to submit the project plan and designate a representative of the city to sign all documents.
Okay. Is there, Ryan, you might as well stay right where you are. In case anyone has any questions, the citizens, you can ask him directly. None? Okay, anyone on city council that has any questions?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Okay. My question is that it's a loan, and we're hoping to get the loan forgiveness part of it too. But we wouldn't really know for sure if we got the loan forgiveness part until.
So all the project plans that are submitted, any community in the state can apply. The state will score those. They have a scoring system. It's based again upon if the community's disadvantaged, if the community's got any consent orders. You don't have a wastewater treatment plant here, but some communities, they might have some orders where they've got a certain time frame where they've got to fix certain violations or whatever with the wastewater treatment plant. So there is a scoring system that takes place. They score all the project plans. That's issued in mid-August. That list will note which projects can move forward to get a loan. At the same time, it will also note which communities can get either grant money or loan forgiveness on that as well. So by mid to late August, I'd probably be back in front of you to give a report as to where we stand and how we want to move forward. And by submitting this, you're not locked into having to get a loan. I mean, you can, once that project priority list is issued, we can make the decision, do we want to move forward? You don't have to, you can back out. So.
Is there any further discussion? Okay, I need a motion to close.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll make the motion to close the public hearing.
Support.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, item G2, resolution to submit plan, Clean Water SRF revolving loan project. Mayor and council, attached is correspondence from our city engineers regarding the next step of this project. We are now required to adopt the attached resolution, formally approving the project and confirming that we provided the necessary public comment period and that all comments were considered and addressed. I have reviewed this and concur that the attached resolution be adopted so we can move forward with the drinking water SRF revolving loan project. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll offer the resolution to designate the acting city manager as the authorized project representative on the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund Loan Project Plan and further to adopt the attached resolution adopting a final project planning document for water distribution system improvements and designating an authorized project representative.
Support.
Discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes,
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item number G3, proposed update, 2023 master plan. Mayor and council, submitted under separate cover in your packet is a proposed update to our master plan as prepared by our planning consultants and reviewed by our planning commissioners, Economic and Community Development Director and Deputy Director. Attached here is a letter from Mr. Urbiel that I believe is self-explanatory. As Mr. Urbiel notes, you will need only to receive and file this and direct that it be distributed in accordance with the statute. Mayor, a motion is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Which one of us?
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
Which one of us?
Yes.
By motion, receive and file the proposed update, 2023 master plan prepared by the city planning consultant and direct that copies of it be forwarded to adjoining communities, SimCog, Wayne County, and other entities in accordance and compliance with Public Act 265 of 2001.
Support.
Okay. We have a representative here.
I just brought some copies for you guys, and I'll start one on either end.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I just wanted to be here for questions.
Okay. Everyone had this in your packet, and so you should have perused this prior to the meeting. I think it's 147 pages or something.
Something like that, yes.
Something like that.
And we have,
And so therefore, we are not going to take this time for you to.
I think it's 63 days too that we have
Yeah,
for
we have
public comment.
So if you want to come to the mic, if you have any direct questions of McKenna representative, what is your name?
Sure. My name is Nani Wolf. So I've been working with Paul Urbiel on this project. I believe I've already met Clerk Park, but everyone else, nice to meet you. If you have any questions, would you like me to talk about what the master plan is? I know it's probably been a minute since you guys heard about it, right? Yes? Okay, so quick summary for you and the public. The master plan is, like you said, a 100-odd page document. And the purpose of the master plan is to contain the community's vision for the future so that we have a guide going forward. You know, for decades and decades, communities across Michigan kind of did things randomly. And it means that we didn't always end up with what we wanted. Sometimes we ended up with a highway going through our community or a childcare next to an industrial plant. And really the master plan functions to help us avoid those kinds of things in the future and achieve our collective vision. So the master plan takes information about the community and combines it with public feedback and sets us on a course for the future. So the master plan serves basically two functions. One is public and one is private. The public function is that when you're making laws, budget decisions, things like that, you have a guide. It tells you what you might want to do over the next 10, 20 years. And in the public function, in the private function, it also gives you a way to review development proposals to make sure that they align with what the community wants. So when someone submits a proposal for a factory, an apartment building, whatever it is, it's reviewed against the master plan to make sure we're moving in the direction that the community sees as the future. And additionally, one little bonus function of this master plan is it is to help bring the city into compliance with the state of Michigan's RRC program. Mm-hmm. The RRC program is also known as the Redevelopment Ready Community Program. You've enrolled in it, and essentially the state of Michigan rewards communities that are development ready with grant funding, marketing, lots of other free assistance. So this is one of our steps forward towards maintaining that certification. Every, or almost every community in the state of Michigan has a master plan, sometimes called comprehensive plans. So it's a step forward.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Anyone have any questions?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I read through the plan, and it was very, very well organized and very good. It really addresses a lot of the housing needs and things that I perceive that we're gonna be having once we have these new buildings, put in, and when I went to the Michigan Municipal League Conference, there were some grants that I think this is gonna make us eligible for. So hopefully we'll be able to follow up on those grants. I don't know if we've started looking at those or not. There's one thing though I didn't see. Harper Woods has a lot of like modern and ultra-modern style houses. It brings a lot of charm to our community. And I'm wondering, and I didn't see it in there, I don't know if it's in there and I missed it or if it could be added, that I think that's a direction we could go in when we get new businesses and things, so that the buildings don't stick out like a sore thumb, so that it fits in to the modern theme that we have in this community.
Absolutely. So we do have design guidelines as a recommendation in the master plan to develop those explicitly for the future. So
I read those, but they were more eclectic. It seemed like something
Yeah.
could still stick out.
So after the master plan is adopted, then you would formally adopt design guidelines themselves. So really this sets, you know, the step forward saying this is now something we're going to do, and then you officially adopt the design guideline document. So that would
Okay.
be the next step. But that's a great question about how the master plan works and, you know, what its function is. So
Okay.
before you today would, as you said, is the motion to receive and file and also release the master plan for at least 63 days. So the state of Michigan requires that we make it public. This would be online at the clerk's office, and then we also usually recommend putting it at a library so that members of the public can come read the plan, view the plan, take the time to read the 140 odd pages that it is, and give us their thoughts. Because we want to know what the public thinks, what's missing, what is too much inside this plan for the future. Make sure it actually reflects the vision. So that's what we're here for today. It's really an administrative step. After that, the Planning Commission would review any feedback gathered during that period, incorporate it into the plan, and then actually adopt the plan, which is their function.
Steve?
Thank you very much.
Oh,
Oh, you want me
you
to
could
stay?
stay right there. You both are going to be kind of joined at the hips, right? Anyway, so Steve, is there anything you want to add to this or to explain to council a little bit more and to the audience to know that this is your baby you've been working on and how you want to move it forward?
I think what Nani just said, the administrative step, I think that it's really, I think we're ready for it to be seen. All of you that are here tonight, we're going to post this. It'll be on the city's website. It'll be on Engage Harper Woods, which is the city's community engagement platform. Like Nani mentioned, there will be these physical copies available. I think it's a great start. I think we've had a couple iterations. The Planning Commission's had, it's been 2 or 3 meetings. It's been in front of the Planning Commission a few times already. And it's a really powerful document. Nani mentioned the RRC process that you all, and many of you who come to a lot of these meetings have probably heard quite a bit about the RRC process as well. There really are quite a few things that the state is directing and sort of taking best practices from municipalities all over in terms of green infrastructure, parking, different types of housing, mixed use development. Mixed use meaning, for example, a 3-story building on Gratiot or a 3-story building on Woodward, where there's, I'm intentionally not using streets in Harper Woods. So picture first floor commercial and residential above it, like we're used to seeing, like is common across the entire world. We sort of lost sight of that, I guess, in the 50s and 60s, where everything was very separated. So there's lots of things that this master plan is very intentionally discussing and bringing back into the conversation as far as what the next 10 to 20 to 40 years of this community looks like.
Madam Mayor?
Yes?
I had a question for them. I'm not sure if you'll be able to answer it, but, I was looking at the population. Our population for 2010, 2015, 2020 have increased. So why is there such a big prediction for a decline?
Do you want to explain the SMGOG?
Yeah, absolutely. So the reason there's a prediction for decline is because the state of Michigan is losing population overall. We're actually the only state in the entire country that has been consistently declining over the last decade. So that's a realistic projection based on the state, statewide. But Harper Woods is actually quite unique in that you are growing in your region. Almost every other community next to you is shrinking. So it means young families want to live here. You guys are doing a good job. So, they do revise those projections every year, and the master plan is updated every 5 years. So if in 5 years that changes and we then expect an increase again, that would be revised in the plan.
Okay, all right. I see it going up, then the prediction though is that's gonna.
Yeah, so that's why.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you both for your input
Thank
to
you,
give us a
Council.
clearer view. I appreciate that very much.
When you're done with those copies, just go ahead and give them to Ms. Frank for her use in the office. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So, it's a motion discussion. So I need it's a motion, right?
Yep.
So all in favor of the update for the master plan?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Okay. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much, both of you. All right, John?
Okay, item G4, progress payment number 3, Danbury Lane, number 180-281D. Mayor and council attaches a letter from our city engineers transmitting progress payment number 3 on the Danbury Lane improvements number 180-281D. It is recommended that this payment be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Jerry?
by resolution, approved payment to Alva Anthony Construction, Inc. in the amount of $57,456.85 for progress payment number 3 on the Danbury Lane improvements, number 180-281D.
Support.
Support. Discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor?
Yes?
Is this the last payment, or is there?
No. Ryan, would you
Ryan.
care to comment?
Yep, I can do that. There will be at least one more payment. I know we are holding some of the funds on restoration. The contractor does need to come back and address a lot of the poor restoration work that's been done out there, and there's some other punch list items out there as well. So we are holding, the work is complete out there, but we are holding money so that they do complete the punch list items. We did do a field walk last week of the site to note those areas that are deficient and need addressed by the contractor.
Madam Mayor, one more question.
Yes.
Will that be completed by our next city council meeting? Or?
I would hope so, yeah. I would hope that it would be completed within the next couple weeks, yes.
All right. Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks?
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item G5, progress payment number 3, 2022 concrete pavement repair project number 180-283. Mayor and council attaches a letter from our city engineers transmitting progress payment number 3 on the 2022 concrete pavement repair project number 180-283. It is recommended this payment be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I'll offer the resolution. By resolution, approve payment to L. Anthony Construction Incorporated in the amount of $34,788.34 for progress payment number 3 on the 2022 concrete pavement repair project number 180-283.
Support.
Roll call, I'm sorry, discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks?
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item G6, progress payment number 2, 2023 concrete pavement repair project number 180-315. Mayor and Council, attached is a letter from our city engineers transmitting progress payment number 2 on the 2023 concrete pavement repair project number 180-315. It is recommended that this payment be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
make a resolution to approve payment to L. Anthony Construction Incorporated in the amount of $50,217.10 for progress payment number 2 in the 2023 concrete pavement repair project number 180-315.
Support.
Discussion.
Yes, Madam Mayor? So between this one and that one that we just read before this one's 2023 and the other one, what's the difference in the two payments?
Ryan?
So we do this program annually. Last year, L. Anthony did not complete the 2022 work. There were some additional pavement repairs that needed to be done from water main breaks, storm sewer repairs from last year. They came in and completed those early this year. So the 2022 program is now complete. We are holding some retainage on that as well to finish up restoration and punch list items that we've found. The 2023 program was recently approved by council. There was a budget of $100,000 for pavement repairs as well. So this is the start of the 2023 program. And they've finished the work that we've given them so far for the spring. They'll be back in the fall. There's still about $45,000 left in that budget to complete their work in the fall.
Ryan, this is about a little over half done at this point?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes?
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item G7, contract extension, pavement, joint, and crack sealing project. Mayor and Council, attached is correspondence from our city engineers regarding our 2022 pavement joint sealing program. We have been reviewing an offer from Michigan Joint Sealing, Inc., who did last year's project, to honor their existing prices for an extension for 2023. By extending this contract, we save the cost of preparing new bid specifications, advertising, and other startup costs. Further, based on other recent bids, we do not feel that bidding will result in lower prices. This work is spread throughout the city, and contractors usually bid higher because of this, and it would not be cost-effective to rebid it. I have discussed this at length with the engineers and agree with their recommendation. We recommend that the modification be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
make a resolution to approve the contract modification in the amount not to exceed $75,000 with Michigan Joint Sealing Incorporated, Farmington Hills, for the 2023 pavement joint sealing program number 180-318.
Support.
Okay, discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Okay, so this, additional 75,000, possibly 75,000, what are we already paying now?
Ryan?
Every year we've approved a budget that's been around, it's ranged from $50,000 to $100,000 each year, and we've been working our way through the city. So this next year we would be looking at completing streets that are east of I-94 and south of Manchester. If we've still got budget left over after completing those streets, we would continue, we're basically going clockwise around the city, basically. And then also we're doing the remaining joint sealing on Danbury Lane. So those areas where we didn't have concrete repairs on Danbury Lane, that existing concrete, we're going to be joint sealing too under this program.
So how much are we paying now?
I guess
This is
not-
additional 75,000.
Correct. This past year, I don't know, I don't remember if the budget was 75,000 or not last year. I think it was.
75,000.
Yeah.
And crack and joint sealing helps us preserve the life expectancy of the streets, too.
Right. Correct.
Is there any further questions? Discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item G8, contract extension, sanitary sewer cleaning, and CCTV inspection. Mayor and council, this is the second of 4 requests for contract extensions. This one being the sanitary sewer cleaning and CCTV investigation, with the contract honoring their unit bid prices for 2023. Attached is the correspondence from our city engineers regarding this project, and we have reviewed the offers submitted by Deutsche Environmental Services to continue this project, with the contractor extending their 2022 unit bid prices. Again, by extending this contract, we save the cost of preparing new bid specifications, advertising, and other startup costs. Further, based on other recent bids, we do not feel that bidding will result in lower prices. This work is spread throughout the city, and contractors usually bid higher because of this, and it would not be cost-effective to rebid it. I have discussed this at length with the engineers and agree with their recommendation. We recommend that the modification be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
my resolution approved the contract modification in the amount not to exceed $100,000 with Deutsche Environmental Services of Warren for the 2023 sanitary sewer cleaning and the CCTV investigation project number 180-317.
Support.
Discussion.
Madam Mayor?
Mm-hmm.
So my question is similar to the one I asked before, because this one's a modification up to a proposed 100,000. So again, what were we already paying then?
Yeah, last year we were about $100,000 as well. And again, it's the same type of program where we're working our way around the city, doing certain sections of the city. This program, I believe, for this year, it would be west of 94 and north of Vernier is the target area for the cleaning and televising this year. Last year, we were working east of 94.
And I further would like to add that tree roots get in sanitary sewers, people flush things down toilets that they shouldn't each and every year. So this is maintenance that residents don't see, but again, keeping your sanitary sewers flowing is a primary concern for the city.
Are there any further discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay. Item G9, contract extension, sanitary sewer rehabilitation project. Mayor and council, this is the third of 4 requests for contract extensions. This item is for the sanitary sewer rehabilitation by FCIPP project, with the contractor holding and honoring their unit bid prices for 2023. Attached is the correspondence from our city engineers regarding this project, and we have reviewed the offers submitted by Institute Forum Technology USA LLC to continue this project, with the contractor extending their unit bid prices. Again, by extending this contract, we save the cost of preparing new bid specifications, advertising, and other startup costs. Further, based on other recent bids, we do not feel that bidding will result in lower prices. This work is spread throughout the city, and contractors usually bid higher, and because of this, it would not be cost-effective to rebid it. I have discussed this at length with the engineers and agree with their recommendation. We recommend that the modification be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
by resolution, approve the contract modification in an amount not to exceed $100,000 with Institute Forum Technologies USA LLC for the 2023 sanitary sewer rehabilitation by FCIPP project number 180-316.
Support.
Okay, discussion. Yes.
When we're cleaning these sewers, just curious, what happens with all that garbage that we find in it? Do we flush it on down, or do we take it out?
Right, you want to tell them how it's disposed?
It is removed. At each structure, we vector out the debris, and then it does go to a landfill or wherever. But it does get disposed of outside of the city. It doesn't, they don't dump it downstream or anything like that in the sewer system.
Just curious, I know it's a lot.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, item G10, contract extension, storm sewer and catch basin repair project. Mayor and Council, attached is the final correspondence from our city engineers regarding contract extensions. This item is the storm sewer repair project. We reviewed the offer submitted by Great Lakes Contracting Solutions, LLC, to continue this project with an extension of their 2022 unit bid prices. Again, by extending this contract, we save the cost of preparing new bid specifications, advertising, and other startup costs. Further, based on other recent bids, we do not feel that bidding will result in lower prices. This work is spread throughout the city, and contractors usually bid higher because of this, and it would not be cost-effective to rebid it. As with previous contractors, they have done excellent work, and it is in the best interest of the city to approve this. I have discussed this at length with the engineers and agree with their recommendation. We recommend that the modification be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll offer the resolution to approve the contract modification in an amount not to exceed $100,000 with Great Lakes Contracting Solutions, LLC of Waterford for the 2023 Storm Sewer Repair Program, number 180-314.
Support.
Discussion. Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item G11, Michigan Municipal League Workers' Compensation Fund Renewal. Mayor and Council, attaches a memorandum from the Acting Finance Director transmitting an invoice from the Michigan Municipal League Workers' Compensation Fund for our 2023 Workers' Compensation Insurance. We have been members of this self-insurance fund for more than 30 years, and it is recommended that we continue to participate. As this is a self-insurance pool, competitive bidding can be waived in accordance with city policy. I would also note that we received a dividend of $85,083 this year that has been applied toward the premium. This helps to offset the cost. It is recommended that this payment be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll offer the resolution. By resolution, approve payment to Michigan Municipal League Workers' Compensation Fund in the amount of $86,905 for workers' compensation insurance from July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024, and further, and that this is self-insurance pooled funds, that competitive bidding be waived in accordance with city policy.
Support.
Discussion. Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item G12, City Hall air conditioning replacement. Mayor and Council, attached is a memorandum from the Director of Public Works submitting a proposal to replace the City Hall air conditioning chiller pump. As her memo states, due to the age of the chiller system that is currently in place, we are past the ability to make minor repairs to keep it going with the high demand that is placed on it. You may recall we spent almost $10,000 in repair to this system last summer. The company that has provided us with minor repairs in the past submitted a proposal for the replacement of one of the two malfunctioning chiller pumps. We will be replacing only the main pump that circulates cold water through the system that provides the cool air through the building. I have reviewed this with Ms. Toutant, and it is recommended that the quote submitted be approved and to have this work commence as soon as possible. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
make a resolution to approve the quote submitted by KNS Ventures in the amount of $27,955 for the replacement of the City Hall air conditioning chiller pump, and to further to authorize the acting city manager to sign the proposal.
Support.
Discussion? I would think now we want everyone to be cool, right? All right. All right, roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes. Thank
Okay,
you.
item G13, proposed charter amendment. Repeal retirement system section 5.16 A through H. Mayor and council, attached is the city charter ballot proposal that has been recommended by the Charter Review Subcommittee regarding the repeal of the retirement system, employee welfare section 5.16 A through H. This was prepared by the city attorney and will be forwarded to the Attorney General once it has been approved. To place this on the November 7, 2023 ballot, the following resolution would need to be adopted. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
There's one error in our print thing, so I'll read it as corrected, okay? By resolution to adopt and submit the following statement of purpose and ballot question on the proposed amended text to the city charter, and further to send this information to the Michigan Attorney General for review and approval so that this question can appear on the ballot at the election to be held on November 7th, 2023. The purpose of Proposal 1 is to repeal the retirement system employee welfare section 5.16A through H of the city charter, where it is no longer necessary because the city has been and is currently enrolled in the municipal employees retirement system in Michigan. Shall the retirement system employee welfare section 5.16 A through H of the city charter be repealed? Yes or no?
Support.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Everybody understand? Okay, roll call vote, Mrs. Frank?
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
And Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item G14, proposed charter amendment, election of mayor pro tem. Mayor and council, attached is the second city charter ballot proposal that has been recommended by the Charter Review Subcommittee. This is in regard to the process of electing the mayor pro tem. This was prepared by the city attorney and will be forwarded to the Attorney General once it has been approved. To place this on a November 7, 2023 ballot, the following resolution would need to be adopted. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor? I'll
Yes.
offer the resolution. to adopt and submit the following statement of purpose and ballot question and the proposed amended text to the city charter, and send this information to the Michigan Attorney General for review and approval so that this question can appear on the ballot at the election to be held on November 7th, 2023. The purpose of proposal number 2 is to amend and clarify the process for determining the council person who will fill the position of mayor pro tem on city council. Section 4.3 will state that the council person who receives the highest number of votes in the regular election for a 4-year term as council person shall serve as mayor pro tem until the next regular election to fill a 4-year council person position. Should the city charter, section 4.3, be amended to provide for, effective with the next election to be held November 7th, 2023, that the council person who receives the highest number of votes in a regular election for a 4-year term as council person shall serve as mayor pro tem until the next regular election to fill a 4-year council person position. Yes or no?
Support.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman Constantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilman Toussaint.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay. Mayor and council, I have an addition to the May 15, 2023 meeting, and it's a resolution, protection of Michigan pensions grant program. And as Mayor and Council, as most of you are aware, the City of Harper Woods has been working with the Michigan Department of Treasury for the last 2 years to help secure funding for our pension system to move our status from its current funding percentage, approximately 44%, to a 60% funding status. We have been identified as an eligible retirement system candidate for the grant monies available. Securing this grant will go a long way in ensuring the overall financial viability of Harper Woods now and in the future, and will serve to reduce taxes on residents in the year ahead. I would ask that you add this item to tonight's agenda. The following action is recommended. Mayor, a motion to add the resolution to the agenda is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I'll add the motion to add the agenda a resolution to apply for the Protecting Michigan Pension Grant Program.
Support.
Discussion?
Yeah. Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Okay.
Just to add.
This award, or,
This is just to
okay,
add.
this
Wait,
award-
wait. This is just to
Oh,
add
right,
this
right,
to the
I'm sorry.
agenda.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. Now,
A resolution is recommended to authorize the acting city manager to file a claim for the grant award.
Madam Mayor,
yes.
I have the resolution to authorize the acting city manager to file a claim for the grant award and further to certify the implementation of necessary practices upon the receipt of a grant awarded as required by the Michigan Department of Treasury.
Support.
Okay. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Okay, I just had a question as whether this was a award that, a one-time award or something that's renewable each year, or for what time period is this for?
Okay, this is a one-time award.
Right.
I want to say we are approximately at 44% funding. That's what we're assuming it's going to be, but the actuarial report won't be released until the end of June. But the state of Michigan is aware of that, and it probably would be a one-time payment of about $9 million, okay, to our pension system. It will get us up to a 60% funding. This is going to help cap the amount of money that the city contributes on behalf of the pension. And it will further, this is another strong spoke in the financial stability of the city. And like I said, it's going to go a long way toward the city starting to get in the practice of reducing the millage. But again, accepting the award, we have to accept the pension reforms that we put in place 3 years ago. That's a criteria, and you know, we think we could do that. So that's in essence, that's what it is. We want to get the pension system up to 100% funding like we had years ago, to where there isn't any kind of a contribution on behalf of the city. At one time, we were 130% funded, and the recession and everything that was involved took us down to about 37%. So we're at about 44%, building our way back up again.
Okay. Is there any further discussion?
Yes, Madam Chair. When the last Captain Conference, and I may have mentioned this last time, it was a workshop on this, and I was very excited about it. And then I came back rushing to John about it, and then I was so glad to hear that he was already aware of it, and had already done all the groundwork for us to be eligible for it. So,
Yeah,
I'm glad to get this, compliment him on that.
thank you.
Madam Mayor?
Yes,
Once we receive this funding, in what direction is it going to be invested so that or what will it be invested in?
Okay,
so that we can continue to grow it?
Okay, what will happen is the city is no longer in the retirement business. We
Right.
no longer have a retirement system. The city has joined the Michigan Employment Retirement System, so the money will be given to MERS. MERS will invest it like they invest the other 700 retirement systems that they have across the state. And again, it'll be with the goal of getting the system to 100% funding so that pensions can be guaranteed for the people that rely on them, and that the city's contribution levels will decrease instead of increase. Hopefully to the point where we don't have to make any contributions over a certain period of time. That's a ways off, but it's a huge step in the right direction.
any further discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilman Toussaint.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
That concludes the city manager's reports, Mayor.
Alrighty then. Okay, so at this time, we call the audience, step up. Okay. You can go, you right here. Give your name.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council. My name is Larry Sad. I live at 20255 Woodland. East Sider my whole life. Graduated from Notre Dame High School. My big issue thus far, I understand we have a couple ordinance committee members here today. I believe, and I've seen with my own two eyes, way too frequently, the lack of ordinance enforcement in the city. I'm an over-the-road truck driver, former civil servant. I was ticketed at one point for being on the road and didn't shovel my snow. I paid the ticket. We have people in the neighborhood. I got a guy that's got a privacy fence attached to my fence. He's got a metal shed in his backyard that's sitting on pallets. We've got neighbors that don't edge the grass, don't cut the grass, don't weed, don't do nothing, don't do anything, pardon my language. I'm a firm believer that the lack of respect for the law comes from the lack of ordinance enforcement. If we let them get away with ordinances, they're going to get away with everything. We can't expect the police to do everything. Ordinance enforcement and DPW are huge in this little city. And if it isn't getting done, you can drive through these streets and see. She wanted me to take pictures. I refused to take the pictures. It's getting to the point, it's embarrassing. So, out of respect for you and the committee members that are on this ordinance committee, I would like to see something get done about that. Following that, as a national officer, of one of the largest veterans motorcycle outfits in the country. I don't believe there should be anything in front of the U.S. flag. Anything at all. The U.S. flag is supposed to stand in prominence. Nothing should be in front of it. So, thank you for your time.
Oh, I understand. Make a correction. Thank you. Okay. You first, then you, then you.
Jerry Binder, I live on Washington. To continue with what he was going along, ordinance enforcement in the city is totally gone. There used to be regulations where you can't park a car across the sidewalk. If you drive down Beaconsfield, you can see them every day. Well, police officers drive right by. It's just gotten to a point where if you don't call them, you might get a police officer. Other than that, they just don't show up. There is no ordinance enforcement. I've talked to our chief. It used to be halfway decent when Burke was here. Jim Burke was public safety. He used to tell me, we issue more tickets in this city than the Grosse Pointes and the St. Clair Shores. That is not any longer. Okay? I would like to see some of these police cars on the road doing what they're supposed to be doing, not just driving down the block to hurry up and get back so they can put their jammies on and watch Jeopardy.
It's insulting, but
I go along with what he says. We just don't have a police department any longer. And today I spoke with people in Grosse Pointe and St. Clair Shores, and they said, you don't speed in the shores. I know, I've gone down 9 Mile Road and I've seen a cop car stop somebody here and stop somebody there. It's the same way in Grosse Pointe. You don't see it in Harper Woods. What made this city great was everybody played the same game. I was at an ordinance meeting when you passed the ordinance about garbage, and garbage cans are not visible from the street. Ever since then, people are putting them up by the front of the house, overflowing with garbage. Whose job is it to inform those people that this is wrong? Is it me, or is it one of the police officers?
we'll get an answer.
Does he have to get back to the station before the program's over? I don't think so. He should stop and say, hey, that's against the city ordinance. Put your garbage cans at the back of the house. Come on down Washtenaw. You can point them out as you drive down the block. I'd appreciate it if you guys would bring it up to these police officers. Let them earn their money.
Thank you.
My name is Roger Jass, live at 21401 Bournemouth, 63 years. First thing I want to bring up is this water thing that, you know, I got my water bill and all of a sudden have a discount and I'm going, okay, what's going on? Because I never put anything in for this discount. I called, they said, everybody in the city's getting this. Well, I want to make sure that you're not going to raise the water bill because somehow you screwed up. And then my next thing to the water bill is, I want to know how come we're paying so much more than any of these other cities. And I'll give you some facts, because I've done facts for the past 6 months. My uncle lives in St. Clair Shores. They pay every 3 months. The way Bill explained it to me is we pay by cubic something or others. And I usually have 3 to 4 every month. My uncle was getting $25 for 3 months, and he was paying $77 for 3 months. 1 month for what, 3 or 4, I'm paying almost $50 to $60. But if you average the 3 of them together, that's almost $150 for 3 months. So why are we paying so much more? Now the second thing I want to bring up is the same thing that he just brought up. And Madam Mayor, I was here 6 months ago, and your exact words to me,
wait.
No. You're going to listen to this, and he's standing right there. He was here. You said that it takes time to implement a plan. We're implementing a plan to take care of this speeding and everything like that. Last weekend, I was cutting my grass and edging the front.
This damn idiot on a crock rocket almost ran me over. Tonight coming here, the same thing, the same asshole almost ran into my back end. And this is not just happening every once in a while. This is happening every day. And I've called 3 weeks in a row. And you know what they're telling me on the phone? What the hell do you want us to do about it? I'm going, this is crazy. What I'm saying right here and right now, I've contacted the state of Michigan, and there are people coming to my house to stay the night next weekend, and they're going to see this traffic going down. And they have told me, if this is the case, that they are going to take over the police. And they're going to start to take over and police this city, because I'm getting sick of it. And if you people want to do your job, you get a badge, put a gun on, and start patrolling the streets, because this city's gone to hell. Because all I heard in the last election is we need new improvement. If this is what it is, it sucks. Now, the last thing, I don't know if you people walked over here and gone to Lowe's and looked at these buildings you're letting these people build. These things are big enough to build aircraft in these things. And there's only 2 of them. There's supposed to be 3. I go, what the hell are they manufacturing? Now, the last thing I want to bring up, and I was told, I called, they told me to bring it up in a city council meeting. I want to know right now, and she can maybe, because I don't know if she was here at the time. We used to have a police chief for this city, got hurt on the job, and we had to pay him workers' compensation for the rest of his life. Well, he went into fraud. He became the police chief in Farmington or Farmington Hills. I want to know if we're still paying him money to him every month, because it was over $100,000 a year.
Is there anything else?
No, nobody knows how to answer. Now I want some answers now. I wanted to get my time in. I want some answers. Because he was here at the meeting 6 months ago when you said you were going to implement a plan. I'm sitting on my porch 3 hours before this meeting, and there was 30 cars speeding up and down the street, just between Tyrone and Craig where I live. It's never been like that in my life.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
My name is Tom DeWally. I live next door to a house that's been a drug den for 7 years. Along the way, the house has also been used as a gambling venue. Round the clock, 24 hours around the clock. Now, in addition, it's being used as an illegal daycare center. We got people showing up there all hours of day and night, dumping off their kids. Kids are running the neighborhood in mayhem. The police are well aware of it. Nothing gets done. Why do I have to live in a neighborhood like this? Huh? Give me an answer. I don't hear you.
It's public comment.
What?
Public comment.
Well, you can comment too.
I'm listening to yours.
All right. There's a lot of truth in what people are saying about the lack of ordinance enforcement. I see hayfields all over the city on front lawns. What also troubles me a lot is all the junk cars that are being deposited on city lots that sit there for a year, 2 years, and never get removed. All right, I guess that's about all. I just, something needs to be done to clean this city up. It really does. Everything that's been said here by these other folks is true. City's in really bad shape. Also, this is my last comment about the Helm proposal. The Helm is so far away from Harper Woods, it's really inconvenient for residents to go over there and use it. I kind of question how many people in Harper Woods actually make the long trip over there to use it. We don't need to be entertaining any more millage increases because I believe we're the city with the second highest millage in Wayne County, 89 mills. We're already taxed to death. We don't need any more millage additions. All right.
Okay.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you for your comment. Yes.
Mike at Atmar Street. With regard to ordinances again, this big problem from last year with these parties on residential locations where they have loud music going on for hours and hours, usually with heavy bass overtones. And I don't understand why this is permitted. The city of Detroit has banned it. And if you want to listen to loud bass music, and sometimes with objectionable lyrics that permeate the whole neighborhood, involving hundreds, if not thousands of people, have to put up with this for hours on end, sometimes going into the late night. Last summer, one went to 1 a.m. And so these parties need to be banned. You can have a party, but playing this loud music outside should be banned. And this is music of this nature has been documented to be a health hazard, and you cannot concentrate. So you hear boom, boom, boom for hours and hours on end into the late night, just because somebody wants to have a big party outside. And oftentimes they're in rental properties where the property has just been used for one day, a big party. And so this needs to be brought to an end. So we need to just outright ban this playing of outdoor music where it permeates half the city. You can hear it blocks and blocks away. So it's very frustrating. And this was a big problem last summer. And with the warmer weather coming up and graduation parties coming up, I'm sure this is going to be occurring again. And so we need to put an end to it right away. So I hope the ordinance committee can meet and maybe present to council a resolution on this. This is very reminiscent of the situation in Detroit. It got so bad in Detroit that they finally banned the playing of any outdoor music. So people were playing boom boxes, they were just playing music outdoors. And so we need peace and quiet in the community and not to have to listen to this kind of music. And not only that, people have to get up for work the next morning. You can't even go to sleep at 12 midnight and they're playing music. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would wish to speak?
Excuse me, I'm a little sore today from doing lawns. I know Heather's been doing her job in tagging houses. Okay? And the officers have been doing their pretty good job when I've called and asked them to do something. But again, it's the people that are moving into Harper Woods from anywhere that are ignoring the officers, ignoring Heather. They take and they tag them, they cut their grass, and then they wait till they get tagged again. That should not happen. If we have like new appearance doing it, no tag the second time. You cut the grass and put it on the taxes or on the landlord or whoever. You got a car over, a nice old Thunderbird green sitting over here on a side street, no plate on it. Sitting in the driveway sideways because it's on a side street. But it's sitting there, no plate. Been there for a long time. I called today. I had a little issue today. Lady asked me to cut her grass so the city wouldn't have to. I should have charged her more, but I didn't. And I also called about a house that was on Kenosha that's been empty for about 4 years, and noticed that the windows were pried open. I called the officers, so they came over and they looked. But the idea was, is the gentleman next door to the lady that I was cutting, we were talking about the empty house, and he got on his high horse and started calling Harper Woods a drug den, thieves, thugs. He don't care. His backyard is about the same thing as I cut, but the front yard's cut all the time. That's one of our other problems. They'll cut their front yard, but they won't cut the back. And unless somebody sees the back, they don't have to worry. Now, I take pride in my city. And I said, Harper Woods is a good city. He says, I wouldn't give you 2 cents for it. I ended up having to call the police because he got real confrontational, threatened to sick the dog on us. And he just went on and on and on, and it also happened to be over an issue of my daughter that was resolved 3 years ago and started yelling all kinds of stuff. Didn't appreciate it. It got my daughter really upset. The people are here trying to wake you guys up. I know the police are trying to do their business, their jobs, because I call them and they do it. This gentleman also, that had the confrontation, was shooting off fireworks at 11 o'clock last night. I've called about a basketball net that's on Woodcrest. The officers have gone out and told them. They wait a day and then they put it back out there again. Confiscate it. The people around them are not happy because I'm calling because these young kids are saying things in a threatening way. We are slowly going down a slippery slope in a sense. Because some of it is because we have a lot of rentals. And the landlords that have them don't care who they put in them. But we do have a problem. And it has to be addressed with some ordinances or stronger. I don't care what it is. Like I said, I have 2 that I've talked to you about. It's 27 and 119 on Ross Common. 19-1, I'm in front of those. And the ladies didn't cut their grass until about 3 weeks ago, and that was in the middle of July last year. So it needs it again. The 2 houses next to it got tagged and they got cut. But theirs is long. I know the landlords had a talk with Heather about it. But there's issues here. And that's what kind of everybody is talking about. The other thing I want to address is I think we should be allowed at least 5 minutes instead of 3 minutes. I know you guys are trying to shorten things. But after last month, 2 weeks ago, and someone going on and on and on and on about what she had to say, Madam Mayor, show me the money. The $500,000 that you so supposedly brought to us, Mr. John, are we getting that $500? Until we get it, I won't believe it. Second of all, you should have asked for the money before you went to be reimbursed. You went on a dime with somebody else, okay? You could have went here and talked to them also and probably got that money, but you went to Washington. That's $1,200 that you asked us for that we shouldn't have had to give you. Okay? Understand? That's just like our school board. I know I'm on a little rant. The school board just sent a guy, our superintendent, to Singapore to get a.
Your time is up, sir.
You've had more than 5.
You've had
Okay,
more than 5
but do you
minutes.
understand?
So, anything about
We're
the
getting
school board,
tired
you
of
take it to
it.
the school board.
We're getting tired of it, Madam Mayor.
All right. Anyone else would like to speak? Seeing none, council, starting with you, Councilwoman Constantino.
Yeah, I'll just cut this back a little bit. I won't say everything, but the Helm, Harper Woods is actually the biggest user of the Helm of all the cities. I read the study that they put out. We use it more than anyone else in the Grosse Pointes. As far as grass goes, the grass on Vernier is getting so long that how can we expect our residents to comply when our public spaces have dandelions this tall? I know that our grass is cut by the county, funded by the state, but the other side of the freeway on the east side was cut, but on the west side it's just left long. So I know that some of the Grosse Pointes cut theirs, or at least cut it in between. We get the times that we get the grass from the grass cuttings from the counties. So maybe we can find out how much it would cost. We're always the last one to get our grass cut. How much would it cost to do a cut? And then it will be more suitable when the county comes to cut our grass. Every time, by the time they get to us, it looks like hay everywhere because it's that long when they cut it. They always break their machines. More than twice they've broken their machines on Vernier cutting our grass. And it's just, it really does make us look like a ghetto. They don't edge it, they don't do anything to make it look good. And they do the very, very bare minimum. We should just take it into our own hands, either cut it and give them the bill, or every other time we cut it, so that when they cut it, it's just not so bad. Is there anything we can do about this? Because it's just horrifying to me, driving by it multiple times a day. For the people who had comments, I feel your pain. I feel like we're not enforcing the ordinances as well as we should be. And I sit on the ordinance committee and I get frustrated. I get very frustrated because we go through a lot of time to really get every specific correct on these ordinances. And ever since COVID, things have just been running kind of wild. It's getting a little better, but it's not consistent. So we need to do that. But if you could, please, if you have a junk car or something you see, keep a log, write everything down. What do you see? What's the license number? What address is it? All this information, noise. Keep a log of it. And the more documentation of facts that you can provide, not opinion, but facts that you can provide, the easier it is for us to track. So there was a situation I've been kind of working with the people on recently, and it's been ongoing. Finally, we were able to get some resolution on it because the neighbor kept a log of all the facts of everything that was going on, consistently called in, things that are starting to finally come through, and the people, finally we've gone through to their landlord, they got their 30-day notice, finally they're being evicted. And so, it's very frustrating also because our court is so far behind, at least 4 or more months behind. So if you want to get someone evicted, by the time it gets to court, it's already been months. And then it gets to court and it takes another 4 to 6 months. It's very frustrating. So if you could please though, the more records you keep, the easier it is. Make a copy of them, provide them, and we can see if we can follow up. And sooner or later things start to click. Also, we do need an ordinance committee meeting. There are some different things that have been brought to our attention recently. Outdoor music is one that happened in my own neighborhood as well, where the music just went all day, so loud, so long, they couldn't put the music in the house and enjoyed it in there. Another thing that's been coming up from a lot of people is the smell of marijuana. If people want to smoke marijuana in their own house in their own time, that's fine. But when the smell is permeating and affecting other people, especially people with asthma and health conditions, that needs to stop. They make filters that handle these smells and things like that. We need to put an ordinance out there on that, because people just, they don't care. And there's so many things they don't care about. So we need to put some teeth into this. You want to smoke in your own house, your own kitchen, whatever, fine. Get yourself a filter. Don't make all the neighbors have to smell it. And some places, especially in condos, it's really a big problem. I'll stop there.
Mr. Tucson?
Yes, I want to say I was very, very happy at how our minutes have been updated and substantiated and justified. In addition, I wanted to commend our mayor for remembering that last week, we didn't bring it up that before, about it was Administrative Day, where we want to give some recognition to our administrators for doing a wonderful job and wearing multiple hats. So she organized a nice luncheon that's included our police department, administrative department, and we reached out to the city council for support, which Councilwoman LaPrade donated cookies, and I brought more than a case and a half of pop. I attended the administration and the administrative staff. I thought it looked like they were very pleased that we do appreciate them. And I want to commend our police department, actually, that they have been responding quite well, and not because I'm on city council, to some many requests that we've had in our neighborhood to kind of support and enforce our ordinances. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to invite everyone over to Johnston Park on the 29th at 10:15 for the memorial, and then following that, right after the MVets Post puts on a very nice one, to come on over and celebrate over there too for Memorial Day. Other than that, that's all I've got right now.
The Beautification Commission is having the annual perennial plant exchange at Salter Park this weekend on Saturday from 10 to 12. And I want to remind everyone that June 2nd through the 4th is Wear Orange Weekend. You can read our proclamation on the website, and it's to bring recognition that we need gun violence to stop. So I do have some orange ribbons if anyone would like one, and that's all I have.
Mayor? Okay, just a couple of things. One, I was very pleased that, as being a member of the Charter Review Subcommittee, that we were able to bring some of the amendments to you, or the proposed charter amendments that we can now put on our November ballot. We've been working very hard going through the charter, revising it, because not revising the charter, but looking at amendments, and trying to get the, things in a more sequential, more organized manner. So the charter team subcommittee have been working really hard on that, so I'm very glad that we're able to bring you, the things that we've been working on. Mother's Day. Want to wish every mother out there happy Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah.
I went by my mother's house yesterday. Many of our family members did, so I cut the grass for her. She's 89, so there's no way she can cut it herself, of course. It's just nice to just remember, happy Mother's Day. And I'm a mother myself, so, Ordinance Committee, it sounds like it's not so much that the things that the ordinance committee is doing, the ordinances, is more of reinforcing, the enforcement of the ordinance seems to be the issue. It would be nice to hear maybe the number of tickets just for accountability that the ordinance that we have been putting out. You know, I know a few years ago, there used to be a list of like, you know, there was 110 people ticketed for a lawn, or 50 people ticketed for, yeah, you know, whatever. So it would be nice just for accountability purposes to find out just how many tickets have we been issuing? Has there been issues since, you know, like January until whatever our accountability, someone could tell us how much we've actually been doing. So the public will know that, you know, there has been some ticketing, but enforcing, trying to make people do something, seems like an issue. Yeah, that seems like an issue. But we'll at least like to know how many, what's been enforced, or what's been actually put out there so far. And my last thing is I want to wish my husband a happy birthday. His birthday is this Wednesday. So I do want to wish Gregory Williams a happy birthday. And that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. I have the last word, and first of all, let me address about Eastland. Eastland is owned by a private entity, and what they place on there is basically what they wanted to do with that parcel of land. We have very little or any control over what was to be placed there, because if we had had our dithers, it wouldn't have been a warehousing and manufacturing. We was trying to get a downtown area for Harper Woods, but we were outbidded and we were never able to secure that land. So that land belongs to a company, and they're building what they feel will be a profitable thing for their company, not so much as to what Harper Woods would like there. So we have no control over that, contrary to what you would like to think. Second of all, I have been in negotiations with Michigan Police and City of Detroit, Wayne County, and our Director of Public Safety. We're trying to figure out a way to make sure that we catch these speeders. It is not just a Harper Woods thing. When we went to the conference in Lansing, every municipality was complaining about speeders, about the disregard for traffic laws that is just prevalent all over the state, probably the country. But we're doing the best that we can with what we have to do what we can. Some people think there's speed bumps. I've sat by a lot of communities that have speed bumps, and I see these cars fly right over them with no regards. Or even like when we had speed bumps, they were taken up or dismantled by the snow removal. So we're trying to figure out a happy medium. I don't profess to have all the answers, but we're trying to figure out from all the best practices of all other communities to see what we can do. As Tom talked about the memorial service, I wish that each and every military person come and be a part of our military honor service for Memorial Day. And also we will, Jason and I will be attending a memorial service for Wayne County's first responders later this week. I'm not going to dignify Mr. Cross's complaints about anything because what you talked about was not appropriate, and it was not something that's, that you have any true information about. So to speak on it, but I will speak with you afterwards, to speak on it was disrespectful. And I'll leave it at that. And Mr. Jennings?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Motion for adjournment?
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We are now adjourned.